these young kids, but I know, and so does Jess, that our kids grew up same ages, essentially, some of them, and they were going through the same things. We take them to the same conferences. We take them to the family conference, Terry's family conference, and the reality is they went through some of the same things. One of the kids had night terrors, and it didn't go away until there was a holy water font that was used in that room, and they taught the kids how to make the sign of the cross.
Jesus 911.
So we're talking about the curses. How do people know they've been cursed? It says here, I personally knew of a woman who discovered that she was cursed only after being prayed over by a priest at a healing mass. She had suffered a mental breakdown years earlier and had been doctoring for this condition for years. The priest sensed something dark around her and sent her to an experienced exorcist for help. Only then did she learn that she had been cursed by a psychic who she used to visit at lunchtime with fellow secretaries at her job just for fun. So, this is funny because sometimes young people, young Catholics, they derive some fun from some of these activities. There may not be spells, but, stuff like escape houses, where people are frightened and there's an intense atmosphere that goes on. And you have to try to find your way by the use of clues to get out of the home. These kind of things can have a certain amount of excitement to them, but some of them are not fun. Some of them can become very serious, like the story that I heard from an exorcist. He tells a story of a young girl. We'll call her Mary for the purposes of the story. A young girl who was brought up by a mother who was quite a proficient witch and reader of tarot cards. She passed along this ability to Mary, her daughter, and was very careful not to have Mary do anything that would attract the demons. So she kept Mary out of it, but yet she also taught Mary the very intricate reading of tarot cards, what all the characters meant, etc., etc. But she never read anybody's future. Never played with the cards. But she grew up this way, and Mary understood how to do the cards. And as often as her mother did this, she actually became quite an expert at it. The girl grew up and went off to college. The first summer break, Mary stayed at college with some classmates during the summer. And then the classmates every so often wanted to do something, so they went to the theater, they did certain things. One of the things they did on one of the weekends was they wanted to play cards. They wanted to read the tarot cards. They weren't sure how to do it, so they began to. Somebody got a deck of cards, and they began to play the cards there. And Mary noticed what they were doing. She didn't get involved in it necessarily. She was just kind of watching from a distance. And when they began to play, it was obvious they didn't know what they were doing according to Mary, because Mary knew the proper way to play. So basically Mary says, hey, if you guys like, I could teach you how to play this game. She goes, I have some experience in it. And so all the girls were excited. Yeah, come on, let's show us how to play this game. And so she sat down and she actually played. Now, up to that point, Mary had been very successful in avoiding any kind of demonic activity. After that weekend, she was found to be full-on possessed. One act of this mortal sin was enough, and one of the demons, once the sessions started, the priest recognized the need for an exorcism. The demons would manifest, and they would say, Mary would say this from the demons, stupid witch, stupid witch, stupid witch. In other words, you had remained clean so long, for so many years, since you were a little girl, and now with one act of turning on God and doing this tarot card reading, now we've got you. Stupid witch, stupid witch. Very interesting. Very interesting how the demons are legalistic. The demons are lawyers from hell. They know what exactly it takes for what turns out to be God's permissive will that will allow them to enter. And so even though the demons may have bothered her mother, and they did because there were certain things that happened as a young girl, but the reality was that they never touched her because she understood it. She saw it from a distance, but when she actually put her hands on the cards and began to look at some of these characters in the cards, she was afflicted. And that's important for us to remember. Those of us who think something might be fun really are not aware of what we're doing. The article goes on here. It says, it would be very easy to blame every misfortune or ill humor on a curse. This is why the Spanish exorcist, Father Jose Fortea, and Father Jose Fortea, I think, was a student of Father Amorth. He tells his parishioners who suspect that they are the victim of an evil spell to employ the following program to determine if they've been cursed or not. So this is Father Jose Fortea's suggestions to people on how to evaluate if in fact you might have been cursed or somebody placed a spell on you. Number one, as we all already know, pray the Rosary. If you're not praying the Rosary each day, you are a vulnerable soldier of Christ. Vulnerable soldier. And so we remember how important the Rosary is. Number two, to read the Bible. And so there are different ways to read the Bible. I mean, cover to cover is certainly an option. But there's also, I heard a priest tell somebody one time, if you want to know what the Bible is and connect the Old Testament to the New Testament, read the first four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And so you get, those four books are the eyewitness accounts of people that saw what the Bible is all about, saw the miracles of Christ. And so this is always a very good way to do it. Another way I've heard is for the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, which talks about biblical wisdom, etc. Because read one chapter a day. There's 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs, and the suggestion is to read one chapter a day for a month. And so that could be of great help to somebody who needs biblical wisdom in order to discern something such as this. Number three, speak with God every day. So this is anything from an official prayer. You could say official prayers, the Rosary, Auxilium Christianorum prayers. Like maybe something like the Angelus 3 times a day at 6, 12, and 6. And so these are official prayers of the church. Or also, you can pray, have a short conversations with God. You can go in front of the Blessed Sacrament, kneel down, say your prayers, and then sit down and just see what God's telling you. See how God is trying to communicate with you. And so we always have to retreat to silence from time to time to be able to hear and understand what it is exactly that God is saying to us. And sometimes this will achieve that goal. Number 4, Father Fortea says, attend Mass frequently, even daily. And so Mass can include a Bible reading, and maybe not. Maybe you want to do Bible reading separate from Mass. And so this is always a possibility too. Number 5, place a blessed crucifix and an image of the Blessed Mother in one's house. So we have to baptize our homes. For those Catholics who have not yet done this, make it apparent to anybody coming to your front door, especially those from other faiths that, on the weekends when everybody's home and you hear that knock at the door and you could see outside and everybody says, shh, quiet, don't answer the door. No, that's the time when you want to go, you want to open the door and you want to say, hi, let's discuss the Bible that you have in your hand and be able to show them that you are Catholic and have a crucifix there, have a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary. In my home, there's several sites where Jesus and the Blessed Virgin Mary are set up. So just so you all know. And then number 6 is something that not a lot of people think about. But I know that for many years we had a holy water font. This is number 6, a holy water font that's actually attached as a light over the light switch. So in every room, when you go in, you turn the light switch on. But for some people, it's a good idea to have a holy water font there. So it's just like a little font to hold the holy water that's under the light switch. So whenever you go into a room, you can make the sign of the cross with the holy water. This is great for young kids. This is a great way for everybody to become a spreader of God's good blessings by sprinkling holy water around. This is something that can dispel the very serious things that happen at night terrors. I know that Jess's family and my family as well, at some point during their spiritual upbringing, because the demons have an idea what these children are being groomed for. They have an idea. They don't know the future. They don't know exactly what the lines of work are going to be for these young kids. But I know, and so does Jess, that our kids grew up same ages, essentially, some of them, and they were going through the same things. We take them to the same conferences. We take them to the family conference, Terry's family conference, and the reality is they went through some of the same things. One of the kids had night terrors. And it didn't go away until there was a holy water font that was used in that room, and it taught the kids how to make the sign of the cross. And so this is something that will help as well. And so we have to understand that these 6 things can be great.